Go look in a mirror. Raise your right hand. Your reflection raises its left hand. The mirror flipped you left to right. Okay, simple enough, but wait. Why didn't it flip you up to down? Why is your head still at the top and your feet at the bottom? The mirror is just a flat sheet of glass. It doesn't know horizontal from vertical. It treats light exactly the same way in all directions. So why does it seemingly choose to reverse only the horizontal axis? The answer is so simple, yet so confusing, that it stumps physics students constantly. The truth is, the mirror isn't flipping you left to right either. You are the one doing the flipping. In this video, we are going to dismantle a daily illusion. We will look at the geometry of light, explore the strange concept of chirality that governs the universe, and reveal the psychological trick your brain is playing on you every single morning. By the end, you will never look at your own reflection the same way again. You will understand that the paradox is entirely in your mind. You interact with this object every single morning of your life. You stand in front of the bathroom mirror, you brush your teeth, you fix your hair, you trust the glass. You think you understand exactly what it is doing. It is reflecting you. But it is altering you in a very specific, very strange way. Raise your right hand. The person in the glass raises their left hand. Look at the text on your shirt. The letters are backward. The image is flipped from left to right. We all know this. We accept it as a basic fact of everyday life. Mirrors flip things sideways. But I want you to stop and really think about that for a second. Why sideways? Why didn't the mirror flip you up and down? Why is your head still at the top of the glass and your shoes still at the bottom? If you ask most people this question, they will stammer. They will wave their hands. They will say something about how our eyes are positioned horizontally, or something about gravity. But none of those explanations hold up to basic logic. In this video, we are going to dive into a paradox that routinely stumps brilliant people. We are going to look at how light actually travels, and we're going to discover that the confusion you feel isn't a physics problem at all. It is a biological glitch. Your brain is aggressively lying to you about what is happening on the surface of that glass. To understand the lie, we first have to look at the physical object itself. What is a mirror? It is a flat, unimaginably smooth sheet of glass, backed by a thin layer of reflective metal, usually silver or aluminum. That is it. It has no mechanical parts. It has no computer chip. It has no artificial intelligence. More importantly, it is perfectly symmetrical. The mirror rotates 90 degrees, then 180 degrees. The reflection of the room remains identical. The glass does not know what up is. It does not feel gravity. The atomic structure of the silver coating does not care about the horizon line. It treats light exactly the same way in every possible direction. When light photons leave your body, they travel in straight lines. They hit the mirror and they bounce back. They take the path of least time. The angle at which the light hits the glass is exactly equal to the angle at which it bounces off. So if the mirror is completely neutral, if it treats the vertical axis and the horizontal axis with exact mathematical equality, how could it possibly choose to selectively reverse your left and your right while leaving your top and your bottom completely alone? The answer is, it doesn't. Let's test your intuition right now. You think the mirror flips the horizontal axis. Fine. Imagine you lie down on the floor, perfectly parallel to the ground, and look at a mirror on the wall. Your head is now pointing to the left of the room, and your feet are pointing to the right. If the mirror truly flips the horizontal axis, it should now flip your head and your feet, right? Wrong. Your head is still on the left side of the mirror. Your feet are still on the right. If you raise the arm pointing at the ceiling, the reflection raises the arm pointing at the ceiling. The mirror didn't flip your horizontal axis. It flipped the axis relative to your body's left and right, regardless of how you are oriented in space. How does the mirror know where your arms are? It doesn't. Here is the deep truth. The mirror is not flipping you left to right. The mirror is not flipping you up and down. Imagine you are holding an arrow pointing east. The reflection holds an arrow pointing east. No flip. Point the arrow up. The reflection points up. No flip. Now point the arrow directly at the mirror. The reflection points the arrow back at you. That is the only axis that is reversed. The z-axis. Depth. The mirror does not swap left and right. It swaps front and back. It squashes the three-dimensional space of the room and reflects it inside out. Whatever is closest to the mirror reflects closest to you. Your nose is closer to the glass than your ears, so the light from your nose travels a shorter distance, hits the mirror, and comes back first. Therefore, in the reflection, the nose is closer to you than the ears. The mirror didn't flip your face sideways. It literally pulled your face front to back. It created a perfect depth reverse copy of your geometry. It turns a right-handed coordinate system into a left-handed coordinate system. I know this is hard to visualize because solid objects in the real world don't flip front to back. You cannot squash yourself flat and push yourself through your own spine, but imagine a hollow rubber mask of your face. You hold it by the ears. The nose is pointing toward you. The right cheek is on your right. The left cheek is on your left. The forehead is up. The chin is down. Now take your finger, press it against the tip of the nose, and push the mask completely inside out. What happened? The forehead is still at the top. The chin is still at the bottom. But the nose is now pointing away from you. And crucially, look at the cheeks. The cheek that was originally on the right side of the mask's face is now on the left side of the mask's face. You didn't rotate the mask, you pushed it through the z-axis, you flipped it front to back, and by doing so, you automatically reversed its left and right-handedness. This is exactly what the flat sheet of glass is doing to the light bouncing off your body. It is pushing your image inside out. So if the physics are this simple, if the mirror is just squashing depth, why are you so utterly convinced that your left and right are swapped? Why does your brain insist on the sideways flip? Because of how you evolved. You are a highly social primate. Your brain is hardwired to recognize faces and bodies. It is an automatic subconscious program running in your visual cortex. When you see a human being standing in front of you, looking back at you, your brain instantly tries to map their body onto yours. How did that person get there? In the real physical world, there is only one way for a person to be facing you. They had to walk around. They had to rotate on the vertical axis. They had to turn their body 180 degrees. When someone turns around to face you, their left hand is now on your right side. Their right hand is on your left side. This is normal. This is how the physical world works. So when you look in the mirror, your brain sees a human facing you, and your biological software automatically assumes, that is a person who has rotated 180 degrees to look at me. To make sense of the person in the glass, your brain imagines that you walked around behind the mirror and turned around to face yourself, but you didn't rotate. The image didn't rotate. The mirror just bounced the light straight back. Your brain is applying a biological rule, the rule of bodily rotation, to a purely optical phenomenon. The left-right flip is a hallucination caused by your brain's inability to comprehend an inside-out human. Let's prove that the illusion is just in your head. We're going to strip away the words left and right because those words are relative. They depend on which way a person is facing. Let's use absolute direction. Stand in front of a mirror facing north. The mirror is on the north wall. Point your hand east. Look at the reflection. Which way is the reflection's hand pointing? It is pointing east. Point your hand up. The reflection points up. Point your hand north. The reflection points south. East stays east. Up stays up. Only north becomes south. The left-right flip completely vanishes when you stop projecting a human perspective onto the glass and start looking at the actual geometry of space. You might be thinking, okay, but what about cameras? When I take a selfie, the image is flipped and lenses are made of glass too. This is a brilliant point, and it perfectly highlights the difference between bouncing light and bending light. A mirror is flat. Light hits it and bounces straight back, but a camera uses a lens. A lens is curved. Its entire job is to take light from different places and force it to converge, to meet at a focal point. Because the light rays converge and cross over each other inside the lens, the light from the top of the tree ends up at the bottom of the camera sensor. The light from the left side of the tree ends up on the right side of the sensor. A lens actually does flip an image. It flips it left to right and up to down. It rotates the entire image 180 degrees. Your eye works the exact same way. The image of the world projected onto your retina right now is completely upside down. Your brain has to actively run a software correction to flip it right side up so you don't trip over your own feet. But a mirror doesn't cross the rays. It doesn't focus anything. It just rejects the light back in the exact order it arrived. The camera crosses space. The mirror squashes it. This brings us to one of the most profound and mysterious concepts in all of physics. It is called chirality. Look at your hands. Your left hand and your right hand are perfect mirror images of each other. They have the same fingers, the same joints, the same structure, but try to put a left-handed glove on your right hand. It doesn't fit. No matter how you twist it, no matter how you rotate it in three-dimensional space, you cannot make a left hand perfectly overlap with a right hand. They are structurally incompatible. An object is chiral if it cannot be superimposed onto its mirror image. The universe is absolutely obsessed with chirality. It is baked into the fundamental rules of reality. Look at biology. The DNA in your cells is a double helix, but it is a right-handed helix. Every living thing on Earth, every plant, every animal, every bacteria uses right-handed DNA. If you created a mirror image, left-handed DNA molecule in a lab, biology wouldn't know what to do with it. It would be entirely incompatible with life. Sugar molecules have a handedness. The sugar you eat is right-handed. Left-handed sugar tastes sweet, but your body cannot digest it because your enzymes are shaped to only accept the right-handed version. Even in particle physics, at the very bottom of reality, handedness matters. The weak nuclear force, the force responsible for radioactive decay only, interacts with left-handed particles. It completely ignores right-handed particles. The universe itself possesses a fundamental asymmetry. When you look in a mirror, you're looking at a chiral inversion. You're looking at a universe where the DNA twists the wrong way, where the sugar is indigestible, and where the fundamental forces operate backward. It is not just your face that is flipped, it is the physical logic of the matter reflecting back at you. So let's tie this all together. Why doesn't the mirror flip you up and down? Because the mirror isn't flipping you horizontally either. The glass is incredibly dumb. It only knows how to do one thing: push light back in the exact opposite direction it came from. It reverses depth. It pushes the z-axis inside out. The paradox, the confusion, the stubborn belief that your left and right are swapped is entirely a product of your own mind. It is your brain desperately trying to map the social rules of human rotation onto a brutally simple optical reflection. You cannot imagine yourself squeezed inside out. So your brain lies to you. It tells you a comfortable story about rotation, even though that story breaks down the moment you think about the vertical axis. This is the ultimate lesson of physics. The way you experience the world is not the way the world actually operates. Your senses are biological hacks designed to help you survive, not to show you the objective truth of geometry. The next time you brush your teeth, look at the person in the glass. Don't look at them as a person who turned around to face you. Look at them as a 3D sculpture that has been crushed perfectly flat against the glass and pulled through to the other side. You are looking at a topological impossibility. You are looking at an inside-out ghost. If this video made you question your own eyes, don't keep the confusion to yourself. Share this with a friend to confuse them today and hit the subscribe button so we can break your reality again next week. And if you want to actually visualize how light paths, lenses, and reflections operate without all the confusing jargon, I've put together a physics of light diagram pack. It's a free, highly visual cheat sheet that perfectly maps out how your eyes, mirrors, and the universe interact. You can get it by joining the waitlist at the link down in the description. Stop trusting your brain. Start trusting the physics.